You guys gonna attend tonight's party? It's gonna be lit. I hear the zombie crew is gonna be performing, Brian said. Jake and I looked at him with confused expressions on our faces. Yeah, Jake said, we heard about the party, but what's this about a zombie crew? I cut in. Yeah, Brian, what the heck is a zombie crew? Brian looked at us like we were aliens. You guys serious right now? You don't know the zombie crew? They're like the hottest band of singers out there right now. No one else can even come close to these guys, man. They're really, really, really lit. And besides, tonight's party is gonna be a hell of fun too. He honestly seemed too excited for this party he kept going on and on about. I asked Brian, what's this party going to be about anyway, and who's the host? Is it just me, or did Brian seem a little too reluctant to answer that question? He shifted his feet and said quickly, just a really rich friend of mine. He just got back from a long trip and decided to throw a party. He told me about it and I asked if I could invite a bunch of my friends over, and he was more than elated to host us all. All 5 of us, man. And what does your friend do? Jake asked. Well, he's the son of a really rich billionaire who's into import-export. They're really packed, guys. I turned to look at Rachel, who was just smiling as Brian spoke. You're not gonna say something? I asked her. She snapped out of her daydream. She'd always liked Brian, and he was the sole reason she joined our circle in the first place. I knew she'd definitely say yes to the party, or anything Brian said, in fact. She acted like she was thinking about it and then said, I mean, we just completed our tests, guys, and I don't know about you guys, but I need a break from all the reading, and also, this is an opportunity for me to get to know all of you better. Jake rolled his eyes at this and said, you just want to find any reason at all to spend time with Brian, don't you? I laughed out because she immediately turned all red. No, that's not it, guys. Really, I really do want to spend time with you all, my best friends. Yeah, right, I said. Hey, anyone seen Sandra around school today? Jake said, she's probably in the library or something right now. She was the smart one in our group, and she was always, trust me, always with books. But she was really, really cool, so we didn't have an issue with her. But reading after test just concluded? Come on, girl. I'll go find her, I said. Catch you guys later at the club for the party. I left the rest of them and went to get Sandra. I found her, just as Jake had predicted, in the library, reading a book. Hey, I called out in a whisper. What you doing? She looked up at me and smiled. Hey, John, how's it going? Where's the rest of the gang? Going to the club now for the party. I sat down next to her. What you reading anyway? She smiled and showed me the cover of the book. Night of the Undead. Ooh, I said, spooky. And kinda weird that you're reading about zombies. We're going to a club that's hosting a zombie crew tonight. She looked confused at that last statement. The zombie crew? She asked. Yeah, Brian has been going on and on about this really great band of singers who go by the name Zombie Crew. Weird name, she said. Yeah. Anyway, we have to go right now. It's almost time. I looked at my watch and saw that it was already 7 p.m. Scratch that, it's way past time. I got up and pulled her away from the books, much to her protest. We got to the club at exactly 7:35 p.m. It was a really weird looking place, and it appeared that whoever owned this place was either a diehard fan of the zombie crew, or maybe they just loved zombies in general, because everything was zombie themed. I mean everything. The females serving drinks wore zombie costumes with the logo of the zombie crew on every of their t-shirts. These costumes looked almost lifelike, really. Even their movement was just like real zombies. I was awed at all these things. As I kept looking around the strange place, Brian walked up to me and touched my shoulder. Hey man, where have you guys been? We've all been waiting for an hour now. Sorry about that, man. We'd have been here 40 minutes earlier if someone didn't have to spend all the time picking out what's where. I turned and gave Sandra the "I'll murder you" look. She just shrugged and apologized to Brian, He wasn't even paying attention anymore. Werewolves, vampires, demons, leprechauns, the Loch Ness Monster. Supernatural creatures and events have always been fascinating. We all have our favorites, sure, but where do they come from? Do people see them? Are they real? From the elusive Bigfoot to the very popular werewolf, who even has its own TV shows and series, let's uncover the mystery of these supernaturals together. He kept looking over his shoulder like someone was watching him or after him. Hey man, you good? Huh? Brian said. Yeah, I'm good. Let's go meet up with the others. We found the others, Jake and Rachel, at the bar section of the club. Hey! Sandra and Rachel giggled and chuckled to each other as they hugged. Girls really are the weirdest beings on the planet. I nodded at Jake and he nodded back, and we all sat. Brian took a seat close to Rachel, which earned another round of blushing from her. Alright, barman, he said. We ready for our drinks now. The barman stepped out, or should I say, wobbled out from behind the counter, and I almost screamed. His costume was even more real looking than any I'd seen so far. Everything was so lifelike, and I mean that to the last detail. He grabbed a few bottles from the shelf. What can I get you lot? He asked. Even the voice was so real. Just the usual, Brian said. Okay, brainy boy. It's all on the house. Brian forced a smile at this, while we all watched bewildered by this guy's acting. It appears the usual was a bottle of red wine mixed with a shot of brandy and tequila with ice cubes in them. I have to admit, I actually enjoyed the drink. As we were drinking and chatting though, the lights suddenly went off, but only for about 5 seconds, as after that short time, a sickly green light was cast on the stage to reveal a group of 5 zombie-dressed guys with all sorts of instruments. A beat started playing immediately and they began singing. Everyone began screaming immediately. And we got some beats to drop for you today. Yeah. You know, I usually do this kind of thing. And there's this fresh meat in the area. Let's go. We the zombie crew. We got some beat to drop for you. You know what we're talking about, yeah. Walking into the club, we can see the brains up in the head. You can give us some. No, we ain't playing, we ain't joking around. We just wanna see your brains like the other side now. On the plate, on the fork, on the spoon, even in the pot, blowing like a meat. Oh, we the zombie crew, and all we do is make it crew. We the zombie crew, and let's make this thing hell of a fun. 5 humans on the table, with the brains on the floor. 5 humans on the table, with the brains all around. Yeah, we the zombie crew, we are making jokes. We the zombie crew, we love to eat fresh brains, on top of, yeah, the 5 people over there. Come along, John. Come along, Sandra. Come along, Rachel. We got your brains signed up for eating. For eating. Remember I said the zombie crew is here. Remember I said we coming to eat brains. We ain't got no other choice than to eat brains, cause that's what we don't have. It's not like you got much of it anyway. Just give us some. You don't got much of it anyway. Just give us some zombie crew on the beat. On finishing the song, everyone turned toward us, and then it hit me. Those weren't costumes they were all wearing. No, these were real zombies, and we just walked into a club filled with them. Brian was suddenly moving backwards and muttering, I'm sorry guys, I'm so sorry, but if I didn't do this, the zombie crew would have killed me instead. They asked me to get 5 victims in exchange for my life. You were the only ones I could think of. I'm so sorry. You monster! Rachel screamed, just as all the zombies descended upon us. In a flash, they'd ripped her hands from her body, and another group pulled her head clean off her shoulders and immediately began munching on her brains with such sickening sounds. I grabbed my 2 other friends and ran for the door as fast as I could, but it was already too late. 2 of the female zombies were already at the door, and they spoke in unison. You can't leave. We need to feast on those juicy brains of yours. And then they pounced on us.